One's ready. Boys are ready. Go! So you guys are going into Special Warfare Assessment Selection. It is an attributes-based selection model. What does that mean?
Guys, are we running right now to get fitter? Or are we practicing running? Practicing.
I can't freaking...
So there's a holistic picture that we're looking for. The instructors are giving you input, and we're expecting an output. And everything is for a reason. If you guys haven't heard my spiel yet, everything that we do, every single exercise, has a connection to the job that you're trying to do. We don't want people at Indo-Pac, Special Warfare Assessment Selection, whatever they're gonna call the new course when it inevitably changes somewhere down the road. I don't care what they call it. What I need is you to show me the raw materials for the things that I wanna build you into. Just like everything else, it's a crawl, walk, run.
I'm running Keysler just like this. All the way to ATC, you never quit. All the way to ATC, you never quit.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the ONESREADY podcast. You're in the team room. This is your daily drop for the 17th of September, brought to you by 18 Alpha Fitness. If you guys head on over to ONESREADY.com, top right hand side where it says prep, and then partner discounts, Kevin Edgerton and 18 Alpha Fitness are your very first partners that we have on there. So if you are in the market for a tailor-made program for you based off of your current fitness level, the amount of time you have to get prepared, and the level of fitness you need to be at, Kevin has you covered. He is a prior 18 Alpha, which is a Green Beret officer. He was also an enlisted Green Beret before that. And then he topped it off with being a top-notch strength and conditioning coach at Air Force Special Warfare's assessment and selection. So he has all the information, all the knowledge, all the bona fides, or whatever you want to call it, all the credibility to make sure you get where you need to go. Now, how you get to his site, though, is not 18alphafitness.com. We aren't doing that crap anymore, right? You go to our site, where I told you, and you click on any of those hyperlinks, and it takes you to his site that is platformed on another, you can buy the programs right there. Use the promo code ONESREADY, and it'll get you a discount. All right? Invest in yourself. Speaking of investing in yourself, we have slots available for the Nashville Operator Training Summit that's coming up 25 and 26 October. We'd love to have you guys out there. It's an instructorship course, a mentorship course, not a smoke session. If you want that, you go somewhere else. I'm not interested in that bullshit, right? But what we're here to do is train you appropriately, train you to be efficient in the water, train you to be efficient running. We've got Chris Thomas. We've got Taylor Starch, the mad scientist. We're going to go over running, rucking, mobility, 10 to 12 hours of freaking water stuff, right? We got you covered. We're not here to smoke you. We're not going to yell at you. We're not going to do anything like that. That'll come. Believe me, we don't need to bring that for you. So if you're looking for that, go someplace else. If you want to actually get trained, this is where you need to attend. Operator Training Summit in Nashville. We are going to do others. So if you're missing out, you're not missing out. At least you're missing out this time. You're not going to miss out in the future. We just don't have any dates available or locations available yet. All right. And if you want information on it, you can leave a comment or you can shoot me an email at jared@onesready.com, and I'll get you all hooked up. No questions asked. All right. Joint news. Missile Defense Agency begins Golden Dome contract. The United States Department of Defense said the Missile Defense Agency opened a solicitation for multiple award scalable Homeland Innovation Enterprise Layered Defense. Good God. So it's SHIELD is what they're calling it. Scalable Homeland Innovation or Innovative. Scalable Homeland Innovative Enterprise Layered Defense. SHIELD. Wow. Okay. We're going full Marvel universe here, I guess. Contract tied to the Golden Dome layered home defense concept. The 10-year vehicle is intended to accelerate development, testing, and production across missile defense sectors. All right, next. DoD invests in solid rocket motor industrial base. DoD announced $39.6 million to expand domestic solid rocket motor capacity, citing the need to strengthen the munitions supply chain and reduce single-point vulnerabilities. The award is part of an ongoing industrial base modernization effort. So, I mean, this doesn't say what company that is. I got to assume it's a company and we're not doing vertical integration inside the Air Force because, like, why would we ever do vertical integration inside the Air Force? But, I mean, this is true because you start thinking about SpaceX and Space Force and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I mean, we need those rocket motors and all that kind of stuff. But really, the missiles that we have and a lot of the munitions that we have, that's what this is probably going to go to. And we definitely need help in that arena. All right, next. Inspector General transmits audit on Army munitions inventory system. The DoD Office of Inspector General released a transmittal for the independent auditor's report assessing the Army system supporting munitions inventory management for the first half of the fiscal year 2025. The notice provides oversight documentation and points of contact for requesting the full report. That says nothing to me. Okay, I may have to pull this report. If I remember to, I'll pull this report and the next daily drop, I will try and get more info on that. If it's talking about stockpiles of munitions, though, I can't speak for the Army that much, but I can speak for the Air Force. Well, I'm not speaking for the Air Force. I can speak of the Air Force. And our stockpile inventories are not as good as you think or that you would hope it would be. So people are lying to you if they say otherwise. Next, National Guard deployment planning reported for Louisiana. A Wire report said internal planning documents describe a potential deployment of about 1,000 Louisiana National Guard personnel to support law enforcement in urban areas, pending state request. Pentagon officials did not confirm the plan and cautioned against treating draft documents as policy. Yeah, I haven't heard anything about that. So if it's in draft, that means that somebody leaked it out of what I'm guessing is the Guard Bureau or the Pentagon. So yeah, I would be wary of anything in a draft too. I think that's a good policy because you can get yourself in some trouble. Making plans or doing policy off of drafts or just emails, or especially when you have a general officer that just happens, and this is not I'm not a shoot, copy shot on him or anything like that. It's just, a lot of folks, to include myself, like to think out loud. So we're, when we're in a meeting or a group of people, we're talking out loud. We're kind of working through it. And you guys have seen me on this. If you've watched any of the live events or anything like that, you can see me going through it real time, working it out in my head. And a general officer's staff will oftentimes, if they don't understand that or don't know that about him or her, they will take what he or she says for action, and they'll assume it's policy, or they'll assume that there's a task or a go-do behind it. And it can get people into some dangerous areas, to say the least. All right. Next one. U.S. Air Force awards Next Generation Bunker Buster prototype contract. The United States Air Force awarded a 2-year contract to design and prototype the next iteration of a massive ordnance penetrator capability. The effort aims to refine warhead performance and integration for future long-range strike options. Boy, B2s and freaking massive ordnance penetrators are all the rage now after Midnight Hammer. It's pretty funny. All right, next, Misawa Range Day showcases air power and readiness. The 35th Fighter Wing at Misawa Air Base hosted Range Day events featuring flyovers and interactive displays to connect airmen and families with the wing's mission. Organizers emphasized deterrence and Indo-Pacific stability. Next, Quality of Life Initiative marks 1-year milestone at Eielson. A chaplain-led program at Eielson Air Force Base marked its first year, providing a venue for connection and resilience activities aimed at reducing isolation and supporting suicide prevention. The installation highlighted participation and community impact. All right, this is Space Force news. Space Development Agency Tranche 1 mission supported from Vandenberg. The Space Force's, the United States Space Force 2nd Space Launch Squadron, reported mission integration and assurance support to Space Development Agency Tranche 1 launch that placed a transport layer satellite into low Earth orbit. The payload supports global communications access and encrypted connectivity for warfighters. Next, these are of interest. DoD addresses troop social media activity tied to a political commentator. Reporting said DoD took steps to curb service member posts related to a high-profile political figure, citing uniformed personnel rules on political activity. The department did not release detailed disciplinary statistics. That's because, so what they're talking about here is with the murder or assassination of Charlie Kirk, being the high-profile political figure, even though he wasn't a politician, but that's what they're saying, he's a high-profile political figure. And what was happening was you had people on... One second. Excuse the sneeze there. What we had was military members that were not in uniform on their social media making pretty disgusting comments, but nevertheless, I support free speech. And if you haven't paid attention, this is not open to the public yet, but it's open to members right now. But Aaron and I, this past weekend, really started diving into free speech, and I don't think him and I agree 100% on it, but that'll release, I don't know, this Friday or maybe on Monday or something like that. But anyway, so these members were making pretty disgusting comments, celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk, and even though they were not in uniform, and I think some of them may have been in uniform, but I didn't see any, but their profile still had a bunch of followers and still had reference to them being being in the military. Also, some of their posts themselves actually had them in uniform. In previous posts, not the post that they talk about Charlie Kirk. So you that gets into a weird thing, right? Because what is, you don't give up your right to free speech when you join the military. However, you are held to different kind of standards. So you can say whatever you want, but you also have to know that there might be repercussions to what you say. So, and it's just like in the civilian world, you see all these people that are getting fired now. That's free speech. It's also free speech or the freedom of the businesses and companies to shit can them. So, there you go. It goes both ways. But so what's going on is all that there. So it's a little bit of a witch hunt, if you will, but maybe it's right, maybe it's wrong. I don't know. You guys tell me what you think. All right. And this is the last one, it looks like. Administration clears Allied-funded security assistance for Ukraine. A Wire report said the administration approved a tranche of military assistance for Ukraine financed by partner nations under new arrangements. Specific items and delivery times were not publicly listed at the time of the reporting. All right, everybody. I know I haven't been great about getting out these daily drops, and it's just because things have been crazy, especially as we're at the end of the fiscal year. If you guys don't know what the fiscal year is versus a calendar year is January to December. A fiscal year is October to December, or October through September. And fiscal, being money, is what we're dealing with. So when we start talking about budgets for the military and all that kind of stuff, that's what we're dealing with. So Usually August, September is a busy, busy time when we start talking about money. Anyway, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave us a review, leave us a comment, engage with us. We will write you back most of the time. Sometimes there's nothing to respond to, or sometimes it's just gets too much and then we miss it. But if you are interested in that Operator Training Summit, let us know. All right, we're out here. Later.